looking at these ideas, and I went to Ben's website and posted money to study the explanations they had for the monetary system and how it actually could be reformed. I had very serious doubts if it really could be that easy. If it was really possible to reform the banking system without, killing all the firstborn sons and everything. It was really too simple, actually. Just passing a law to prohibit the banks from creating new money out of nothing and using it for their own purposes. It is very important to realize, in my business where I come from, is we make computer software most of the time, and when we discover a huge flaw in the system, it is our duty to fix it. The current banking system, even if we had under the current system, we call it fractional reserve, a great progress in the history of humanity, and it is not because of the faulty banking system, it's despite of it, is my conclusion. If we had had a better working system that would have nurtured a more sustainable growth, a more stable growth, instead of booms and busts, we would have used our resources more wisely and we would not be all in debt like we are today. It's not just in Iceland, it's everywhere on the planet. There is too much debt, and people are much poorer than they needed to be. And there is much more disparity between rich and poor than it has to be. And this system has actually served as a method to extract value from the system for the benefits of few, and it's gone way too far. And my options after discovering the power of the system was only two resources: is to start a bank or own one, or tell everybody. But it's very important that we understand as citizens who makes the money and what does it mean. And I think he explained very much what the very serious implications are and what went wrong with the status. But the opportunity for us here is very big. Iceland actually suffers from very bad consequences from the last crisis. We have to learn from this, and we have to do better than others. We cannot be inside the box. We are far outside the box as a country already. And the solutions, we cannot just use bandages on the old system. We really have to fix it. And we have looked at many different alternatives, some very dramatic, and such as, for example, adopting new currencies or joining another currency union. These are very, very big steps, and they're very difficult to reverse without cost. Whereas this system, migrating to a fuller reform system, a full reserve system, is actually can be done. We can ease ourselves into it over a number of years, and we can say it's not working. We can track back without any cost. There is no cost of actually doing this experiment, and certainly no cost in studying the benefits and costs of doing this seriously. So that's maybe my point. I just want to, because I think we had a question about whether it was wise to give it to the politicians, the powers. I think Gylfi mentioned this. And I think it's a very important part of the suggestions by Cost and Money is to take the money power and split it up into two entities. Now it's unified. Both the quantity power and the allocation power is now situated with the lending officer in the bank. He can decide, or she can decide, whether to increase the money supply by making a loan. And who will get this loan and for what purpose? This power is now in one entity, and it is a fertile ground for corruption, as you can imagine. And actually we saw this crony corruption happen just a few years ago here. The solution is to separate and split up these two powers and leave the quantity question and the power to increase the money supply to specialists working at the central bank. But they should not have the power to decide on what to use the new money for. This has to be decided democratically. And we have a process for doing this in Félag, or the bill, when we make the bill in government. We decide as a people who to vote for. And if we vote for right-wing government, they will decide to use the new money to lower taxes. If we vote for left-wing government, we will do something else, and if we will vote for central party that will do something sensible with the money. So it's democratic. That's the point. Another point was made here, but will Icelandic banks be competitive as an organization afterwards, after we had stripped them of this profitable resource of creating the money supply and lending it to us? Money supply we could have created ourselves, at no cost to ourselves. And I just calculated that they will lose probably an income stream of 30 to 40 billion annually. Now, if you feel very sorry for them, we should please continue and allow them this money stream. But I think there's a fine job and a very healthy indoors job to just help people save money and find good opportunities to lend them to. And I think they will be very competitive with foreign banks because, for example, if a German bank would like to lend euros into Iceland, the Icelandic companies would have to be able to show that they have an income stream in euros to be adequate lenders for this currency. A German bank would not be able to create kronas, and they would not be stupid enough to lend euros to a company that only has income in Icelandic kronas. But, for example, if we have a company that is truly generating euros, then they can actually call to the German bank and say, we'd like to do business with you. So it would not be stopping anybody from using what currency is most beneficial. And it will not stop our banks from being competitive inside our market.